a professional dancer who has been Beyonce's dance captain.
Pop culture icon. She is a ballerina extraordinaire.
They called you a devil's child.
Michaela was abandoned at an orphanage where she was treated like a pariah. The adult thought she was cursed.
It's not a fairy tale. There is a lot of loss and a lot of pain. They ranked us by favorites, and 27 was the least favorite. I was number 27.
12 families had refused to take number 27.
They kept saying, why would somebody want to adopt the devil's child?
I knew that it would be difficult. There was going to be more rejection ahead of her.
It's really painful. It never stops hurting.
And they thought that it was evil?
Yeah, definitely. I felt very much alone. I really wanted to die.
How can you blame a child for that?
What were your chances from this world?
There was none. The only way I could survive was to prove everybody wrong. And I needed to find something to give me hope, to help me to continue to fight.
But that hope was smashed by unimaginable horror. She was about to endure something so tragic that the memory is still scalding.
But how did it all begin? Why did they call you the devil's child?
I don't remember the faces of my biological mom and father. I can see their figures, but I don't even remember what they look like. They were the only people who believed in me because of my vitiligo, a skin condition that causes patches on my skin to turn white. And in my village, because of this, they thought that I was the devil's child. I was so angry at the rebels for killing my father. My mom, she just didn't know what to do, so she ended up giving me most of the food, and she ended up starving to death. I was 3 years old. In the orphanage, we were taken care of by aunties. But these aunties had their favorites. Number 1 got the biggest portion of food and the first choice of clothes. Number 27 got the smallest portion of food and the last choice of clothes. I was number 27. Every day in the orphanage, I was starving. I've never felt so alone before. I remember they told me who would want to adopt the devil's child. And one day, the big wind threw a magazine right onto the gate at the orphanage. I reached out and I grabbed it. And I saw something. This amazing creature, this person I've never seen before. She was on her tippy toes and in this beautiful pink costume.
She had never seen anything like that before and wanted to know more about the woman from the picture. She showed it to a beloved teacher.
And she explained to me she was a ballerina dancing ballet. And that's what I wanted to be, ballerina. And it was not just the fact that she's a ballerina, it's that she looks happy. And I wanted to be happy. I'd always go on my tippy toes every day and practice just like the ballerina. I thought maybe one day, with everything going so well, I finally had somebody who cared about me. Maybe one day I could be this ballerina. Teacher Sarah cared about me so much, and she knew how important it was for me to get a good education, so she would always give me extra lessons. After a few extra lessons with Teacher Sarah, we started walking towards the orphanage gate. Me, of course, talking about that ballerina and how I couldn't wait to be her. But then, all of a sudden, 2 rebels were walking towards our gate, a child rebel lagging behind, and a truckload of them turning around the corner. They saw that Teacher Sarah was pregnant. They wanted to know if it was a girl or a boy. And so they decided to find out, and they cut her stomach open. The little boy thought he should try to copy the older rebels. He took his machete out and cut my stomach. When I got stabbed, I was really hoping. I felt very much alone. I really wanted to die. I didn't see the point. I didn't think I would have anything good. This is when I realized it was much easier to not care about anybody because they always die and leave me.
At the same time, more than 5,000 miles away, Elaine DePrince was struggling with her own void. An equally unimaginable one, the loss of her children.
I had 3 little boys, and when the AIDS epidemic began, they contracted HIV. Michael died at the age of 15. My son Cubby died at the age of 11.
Elaine was heartbroken, but she wasn't going to let that stop her from living and loving.
And then I got a call from the adoption agency.
The orphanage warned Elaine that 12 families had rejected number 27 because of her skin condition.
I said, well, we'll take her. She was standing there with her arms folded, really angry. I think she just thought there was going to be more rejection ahead of her.
Of course, I really had mixed feelings about this because I desperately, desperately wanted somebody to love me for who I am. But at the same time, what happens to people I care about? They die and leave me. But then I saw her. She was wearing bright red sneakers, and she must have been running her fingers through her blonde short hair because it stuck out like the ray of the sun.
She didn't speak English, so I tried to ask her what she wanted, and she intuitively understood what I was asking, and she stood on her tippy toes, her little naked toes, in the middle of the floor, put her hands above her head, and walked on her toes. Next thing I know, she ran into the bathroom and came running back with a magazine photo of a ballerina on point.
And she understood, and she said, "You will dance." Going to a place where all of a sudden everybody loves you, you're wondering why. But I thought I was this monster. Why would you love me? Because I look horrible. I thought I looked like a monster. Once we were in the United States, my American mother kept her promise and drove me to my very first ballet class. I remember my first show. I was terrified because I thought, okay, well, if people can see my spots, that meant I could not become the ballerina I wanted to be. So I asked my mom, like, can you make sure, if you see it, let me know.
And I said, no, not really. They look like pixie dust. And she says, oh, good. Now I can be a professional ballerina.
I had such a big family, and I was surrounded by so many people who didn't care about what I looked like. They just cared about the fact that, I was part of their family. Just the fact that I was able to be myself, it was such an amazing feeling to feel like you were free. My parents were able to convince me that even though the people I love may die, their love will always stay with me. For once, I was very happy finally.
If you need to make a new claim, we're available around the clock. It takes Aviva. Get a quote today.
For once, I was very happy finally.
Is there anything that you would want to say to Michaela's birth parents, if you could?
I think I would like her mother to know that she has made something of herself. She saw her child as looked down upon. This child has risen from that.
This is my story. It is one of suffering, heartache, and loss. It is also one of love, joy, and daring to dream. I am here today to tell you that good could arrive all dirty and dusty, or on the back page of a newspaper. You might find it in the wind, or even on your kitchen table. Take note of the simple things that touch you in life. Because one of these simple things might very well be the thing that has the greatest impact, the simple things that can change your life. And dare to dream. No matter what circumstances you are under, no matter how poor or how sad you are at any given moment, don't be afraid of living and loving. Believe.